Have you ever thought about how nature finds solutions? Through evolution, right? Well, today, we're going to steal that idea, one of the most powerful concepts ever, and put it to work inside a computer. We are literally going to watch a computer evolve an answer to a problem. This is going to be fun.
So, just chew on this question for a second. What if, instead of meticulously coding every single step of a solution, we could just set up the right conditions and let the best answer emerge on its own? You know, a world where solutions compete, the good ones survive and reproduce, and over time, they just get better and better. It sounds a little like sci-fi, but I promise you this is a real and really powerful way of thinking about computation.
So here's the game plan for our little journey. We'll start by setting up our digital world. Then we'll create our very first population of solutions, see how the best ones get picked, watch them create a brand new generation, and finally, wrap our heads around how this cycle leads to some pretty amazing results. Okay, first things first. Before you can have evolution, you need an environment, a world for things to live in. For us, that environment is simply the problem we're trying to solve. It sets the rules of the game and defines what a good solution actually looks like. To keep things simple, we're going to use a basic math problem. Our goal is to find a number x somewhere between 0 and 31 that gives us the biggest possible value when we square it. Now, you and I know the answer is 31, right? But here's the key. The computer has no idea. Its job is to discover that answer on its own, to evolve towards it. This simple challenge is its entire universe. So, what do these potential answers, our little digital creatures, look like? Well, they're not very glamorous. They're just simple strings of ones and zeros. To represent any number between 0 and 31, all you need is a 5-digit binary string. And that string, that's its DNA. That's the genetic code that defines each potential solution. All right, we've got our world, we've got our definition of DNA. The next step in any evolutionary story is to spark some life. And for us, that means creating a totally random, diverse group of potential answers. This is our digital primordial soup. And here they are. The algorithm just kicks things off by generating a bunch of random binary strings. So you see 01101, that's the number 13, and 11000 is 24, and so on. This is our first generation. They're basically just random shots in the dark. As you can probably guess, most of them aren't going to be very good answers. So now we have our population. The big question is, how do we figure out which of these random guesses are actually good and which ones are, well, not so good? We need to test them. It's time for survival of the fittest, digital style. We measure how successful each one is using what's called a fitness score. For this problem, it's easy. The fitness score is just x squared. Remember, that's the very thing we're trying to make as big as possible. So if we look at our group, the creature representing the number 24 gets a fitness score of 576. That's way higher than the others. Right away, we have a clear fittest individual in our little population. So what does being fitter actually get you? Well, it gets you a better chance to reproduce. Think of it like a lottery, but it's rigged in your favor. Each creature gets a slice of this pie that's proportional to its fitness. Look at that huge slice belonging to a creature, number 24. It means when it's time to pick parents for the next generation, it's got a massive advantage. It's much, much more likely to be chosen. And really, it all boils down to this one simple, almost brutal idea. The best individuals, the ones with the high fitness scores, get to pass on their genes. The worst ones, like our poor little creature representing the number 8, they have a tiny chance of being picked. For all intents and purposes, they just die off without making copies of themselves. Okay, so we've selected our star performers. What's next? Well, now it's time for them to create offspring. The goal here is to combine their genetic material and, hopefully, create an even better solution in the next generation. This process is called crossover, and it's actually way simpler than it sounds. First, we pick 2 parents from the group we just selected. Then, the computer picks a random spot to cut their DNA strings. Right here, you can see it's after the 4th digit. And then, they just swap the ends. They trade the tails of their DNA, and just like that, you get 2 brand new offspring that are a mix of their parents' genes. And would you look at that? This is the magic right here. Through that one simple genetic swap, a brand new individual was created, 11111, which is the number 27. Its fitness score is 729. That blows the best parent's score of 576 completely out of the water. This is it. This is digital evolution, happening right in front of us. We combined two pretty good solutions and created an even better one without explicitly programming it. Now, that was super cool, but it's not a one and done kind of thing. The real power of a genetic algorithm comes from the fact that this is a cycle. You just do it again and again and again, and with each new generation, you creep closer and closer to the best possible answer. So the whole process is really just this simple loop. First, you evaluate the fitness of everyone in the current generation. Then you select the best ones to be parents. You create new children through crossover, and you also throw in a tiny chance for a random mutation. Maybe a single 0 flips to a 1. Think of it like a little genetic wildcard. It's crucial for introducing totally new ideas. And then, with that new generation, you just start the loop all over again. And we need to remember, we're not just talking about the 4 individuals we've been using as an example. A real run might use a population of, say, 30 individuals. And it's going to run this evolutionary cycle for hundreds, maybe even thousands of generations. Each time, it's relentlessly searching and improving. So, yeah, finding the number 31 is neat, but that's not really the point, is it? The real question is, what else can we do with this? Think bigger. What if that binary string didn't represent a number, but the design for a new jet engine? Or the most efficient delivery route for a fleet of trucks? Or a strategy for an AI to play a complex game? Genetic algorithms let us tackle these huge, messy problems where we don't even know what the perfect answer looks like. We just let the computer evolve one for us. So, what problem would you want to solve?